Episode 2 Tutorial 1. Close your eyes. And ask yourself. If this is the beginning of a very, very unkind game, what am I supposed to do now? First, grasp the situation and obtain information. After a while, it seems to come back to my senses. Recalling the first task I had set for myself, I slowly opened my eyes and checked my surroundings again. Unfortunately, nothing has changed from before. Quote ellipsis ellipsis dot quote. That I'm in a clearing in the woods. That it is not LED streetlights that illuminate the dark surroundings, but a flickering torch. Above all, even the fact that muscular savages are infested everywhere you look in the east, west, south, and north. Congratulations, young warriors. Fuck, I didn't see it wrong either. I don't know what they're doing huddled together in the middle of the night, but their expressions are quite pious. Is that man in the middle like a tribal chief? Well, that won't matter. From today, you guys will leave the Holy Land and be reborn as true warriors. I let the tribal chief's words flow through one ear and closed my eyes. I'm not a doctor, but if I'm going to self-diagnose, I have blackout symptoms right now. I don't know why I'm here. Now, come out one by one and choose the weapon that suits you. So let's try it. What was I doing just a moment ago? As I looked back step by step to see if there was something wrong with my brain, the memory immediately came to mind. I was playing a game. The final boss room was just around the corner, and I suppressed my excitement and activated the portal. At that time, a phrase suddenly appeared saying that the tutorial was completed or the transmission started, and then a bright light burst out. And I came to my senses, and it is now. Somehow, it was more confusing than the first time. Panon's third son, Carrick, come out. I decided to check my body condition first. I don't feel any pain, but it's just in case you don't know. With that thought in my head, I stiffened. What else is this? It's a two-handed axe. Excellent. The hand I looked down at was so large that it was outrageous. And surprisingly, it moves according to my will. I checked other places while I was in the middle of the day, and it's a spectacle. Not to mention taking off the top, all kinds of tattoos are drawn on the bulging muscles. For some reason, everyone seems to be about the same size, but they're at eye level. Once I sorted out the situation. No, there was really nothing to organize. For some reason, I had become a savage without even realizing it. Panon's third son, Carrick. With this, you have become a warrior. Kidnapping, hidden cameras, psychological experiments, and more. Immediately erase similar possibilities from your mind. It would be foolish to forcibly fit the grounds while turning the hope circuit when the situation is at a critical point. It is productive to admit and move on. What is happening to me now is something that cannot be explained by science or modern knowledge. Aside from this large body, there are plenty of grounds. Next. First of all, the language the savage uses is neither Korean nor English nor Spanish. A language I have never encountered in any media in my life. The problem is that you can understand that language as naturally as your mother tongue. As if the knowledge had been engraved in my head. Fenelon's second daughter, Ina, come out. Second, I'm used to this situation. I want to know what this is, but it really is. At first, everything was unfamiliar, but after coming to my senses, I felt a strange sense of déjà vu. You've chosen a sword. It's a good choice for you, clever. That the young savages choose their weapons in turn. The only thing they have in common is that. But it reminds me of the introduction of Dungeon and Stone. To be precise, the game started in this way when Barbarian was selected among several races. But is this really a coincidence? When the mysterious light engulfed me, the game I was playing was Dungeon and Stone, and even the main character I was playing was Barbarian. Fenelon's second daughter, Ina. With this, you have become a warrior. May the protection of Lapdonia be with you. This crazy. I decided to stop organizing the remaining evidence. Lapdonia. This one proper noun the tribal chief just mentioned makes everything meaningless. I now know where this is. The world in the game I've been playing for nearly 10 years. The Dungeon and Stone. Oh, what else is he? What is it instead of my words? When I checked the savage next to me with a sidelong glance, I froze. Even at first glance, he was different from other savages. What is this? Why am I here? His breathing is rough and his eyes are full of confusion. It's like knowing Dungeon and Stone. Is he in the same situation as me? I felt the need to check it out, but alas, I couldn't even try. Who's the one who just opened his mouth? My head was dazed for a moment at the sound of a voice so loud that my eardrums tingled. Of course it wasn't long. I don't know when it came, but seeing the tribal chief looking down at me brought me to my senses. Is it you? As soon as the question was asked, he shook his head. And naturally, I looked at the savage next to me. Acting so swiftly that even I myself admired it. At this, the tribal chief also moved his gaze to the savage next to him instead of questioning him. Sorry, but you're right, open mouth. Is it you? Yes. I asked if it was you who muttered just now. I finally felt it, but the tribal chief's expression was unusual. Looking at the cancer, it doesn't seem like it's just because of the chatter. Ah, you mean Dungeons and Stones. But, why? The guy doesn't seem to have noticed this atmosphere yet. It must have been you. A moment of sadness passed through the tribal chief's eyes. Feeling ominous for no reason, I unconsciously took a step to the side. Then the boy tilted his head and asked, "Is this some kind of event?" Oh, maybe it was a problem that I noticed too soon. I couldn't even see what had passed. Something flashed, followed by a terrifying sound. Awesome. That was all there was to it. The time that seemed like an instant passes, and the fallen head rolls with a dull sound. A brutal sight that seemed unreal. The eyes transmit the information they just saw to the brain. Quote ellipsis ellipsis dot quote. A person's head was cut in front of his eyes. Bones are visible and muscle cross-sections are visible. Something white splashed on his face, along with blood and flesh. What is this? Is it fat? I'm not sure. It's not as shocking as I thought. As seen in movies and cartoons, there was no mental outburst, saying that everything that made me sick with nausea would be a dream. Fish woo. Even as I watched the blood fountain spurt from the person's neck, only one question filled my head. Why the hell did the chief kill him? An evil spirit dwells in the soul of Kajua's son Orium. Young warriors, erase all the words the evil spirit just uttered from your memory. The moment I heard the words of the tribal chief, the information was naturally assembled in my head. Information 1, I am an evil spirit. Information 2, if this fact is found out, I will die. Information 3, if I hadn't been careful, I could have been like that. After coming to that conclusion, chills ran down the spine, which had been fine even when the man's head was cut off. Vulcan, you hurry up and inform the temple of this fact with the corpse. How would you like your coming-of-age ceremony? I'll go ahead. There was a lot of blood, but the coming-of-age ceremony continued. No one blinked an eye, as if this was common here. The same was true of the young warriors around him. But maybe it's because I've played too many unkind games. Even though no one told me, I was able to clearly recognize what I had to do now. Complete the coming-of-age ceremony safely without anyone discovering that you are an evil spirit. If it was a friendly game, this message would have popped up. Engraving the renewed task in my mind, I forcibly stopped the shaking of my body. Then, using the attitude of others as a guideline, I acted out my facial expressions. No one should feel out of place with me. To them, I seem to be no different than a evil spirit who has taken over the owner's body. Next. My heart skipped a beat when the accident took place there. Comes Serum, the fourth son of Kennick. I don't know my name. This is a serious matter of life and death. Even if your name is called, if you stay alone, you will surely look suspicious. Next. Of course, you may have heard it wrong. Obviously, that would be much more likely. But if you ask if you can be sure, it's a completely different story. If not, what if the tribal chief asks you a question because you are suspicious? I won't be able to answer anything. Next. Did the feeling of anxiety stimulate the hormones in the brain? Positive thoughts start to come to mind. A weak thought, it doesn't matter if you don't know the name if you are called at the end. Next. I felt sorry for myself. Are you relying on luck? On a subject you've never had a single stroke of luck in your life. You can tell just by looking at a place like this while playing a game. A far more probable plan is needed for a guy like me to get through this crisis. Next. For that reason, I continued to observe my surroundings. With his chin facing the front, he checked the facial expressions, movements, and habits of others with his eyes. As I was doing that, I came up with a method. Next. Of course, this method is not 100% guaranteed. However, the time given was short and I made the final judgment. This is the most likely way to live. Next. 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 The calling continued after that. I counted about 2 seconds inwardly each time. It was when I repeated that 8 times. Yandel's son, Bjorn, come out. The moment we had been waiting for finally arrived. No one steps forward even after 2 seconds have passed since the name was called. Realizing this, I stepped forward. Then, with his shoulders straight, he walked towards the tribal chief. Turbuk. It's not that I'm not afraid. Even at this moment as I take a step, I am not sure that that is my name. Turbuk. If my judgment is wrong, that crazy tribal chief will call me suspicious and stop me. And I'll ask who is your mother. I won't be able to answer. But. Turbuk. I didn't hesitate. Even as my heart pounded, I continued to step forward, evening my breath. The reason is simple. Because I thought this was the most probable. Young warrior, choose the weapon you want. As a result, my choice was right. There was no doubt in the tribal chief's gaze looking at me. A gentle look, as you do when dealing with other young warriors. I suppressed the strange excitement and controlled my breathing. Lived. Less than 10 minutes have passed since I opened my eyes. But I accepted the reality I faced now as it is. It might seem strange to someone like this, but it's pointless to deny it. It's not like a dream. Bjorn Yandel. From now on, I will have to live with this name. No, not just the name, but the complete savage. I don't know how long it will be. Is it possible to go back home? If it is possible, what and how should I do it? Because I don't know anything yet. Well, I wonder if I can go back if I fulfill the clear conditions of the game. It is still too early to conclude on this. I honestly wish it wasn't. No, I haven't been able to break it even in the 2D version yet. How can I break this in real life? Maybe I will have to live here for the rest of my life. Quote ellipsis ellipsis dot quote. In that sense, weapon selection was important. I thought that procrastination might arouse suspicion, but I carefully examined each weapon. One-handed swords, two-handed great swords, maces, clubs, spears, harpoons, two-handed axes, flails, sledgehammers, and more. There were no bows and sticks at all. These savage bastards don't care about eating raw jobs like healers, wizards, archers. Considering the racial characteristics, it would be natural. Bjorn, son of Yandel, hurry up and choose your weapon. As the time to choose got longer, the chief of the tribe also began to urge it. I finally organized my thoughts. Barbarians have no natural talent for magic, but instead have strong physical abilities. For that reason, when I raised a barbarian, I always played with melee weapons and put them in the vanguard. Out of curiosity, I tried to raise Walbaba, but it was not good. Their true value was always demonstrated in close combat. And among them. This. After much deliberation, I chose a weapon. The tribal chief, who had been admiring and praising each time the choice was made, showed a strange reaction for the first time. The feeling was completely understandable. Yandel's son, Bjorn. With this, you have become a warrior. I chose a weapon no one else would have chosen. At that time, the dark room where the flashing lights died down. Synchronization is complete. Character information in journals are recorded and sent to the manager. The fan on the body that had been turned off starts to spin, and the light leaking from the monitor illuminates the empty room. However, booting did not work normally. Beep 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 beep. Typing typed along with the beep sound as if there was an error, stopped on the DOS screen with a black background. The coming of age ceremony has been completed safely. New equipment has been installed. Overall item level rises by +1-2. Quote. As written down, only those sounds resonated quietly in the ownerless room. Endlessly on and on. Open corner bracket Bjorn Yandel. Level 1. Body 25 Mind 35 Ability 1. Item level 24 New +2 4. Overall combat index 67 New +6.